in this game, it has been the staple of line picks. We saw it from Frost as well when they played MVP Ozone.
Yeah. And will we actually see that Shaco? We'll be a little bit surprised. Someday may go with his favorite champion, Renekton. He is known as a Renekton player primarily. Already lock-ins for Shy and Gank by Mom on Shen and Zed.
So 2 ninjas already for Frost, and of course that's a classic combination. Allows you a lot of map mobility.
Nocturne.
And Shen and Nocturne, a very powerful combination. Frost has used Shen and Nocturne in conjunction with Ahri, but Zed, of course, another high mobility assassin. Great there as well. You have a lot of map presence, a lot of map control, and a ton, an absolute ton of pick potential, especially with Thresh.
Now the Fiddlesticks in for KTB, and oh man, we're gonna have it again, guys. I think he's gonna lock it in. I think it's gonna be, oh, can I?
It will be the same.
It will be, okay.
Now,
there we go.
I like this much better because they're not—
I'm waiting for it. Quadruple Ninja! Sorry,
Quadruple Ninja again.
I had to do it.
It's another game, WTF 2 Zeds, WETF 2 Shens.
That's right. And if Zed pops all shadows, it's like 8 ninjas total.
That's right, so many ninjas.
I know, gaggle of ninjas.
So this time, a bit of a modification to the strategy that we saw from the KT Bullets in the finals in their blind pick game. I think that the Vayne pick, so we saw a very similar composition from SK Telecom when they were in their blind pick. Picking that Vayne over the Caitlyn gives you a lot better dueling potential and more team fight presence as opposed to a Bloodthirster fast push Caitlyn. So I really like this much better. The KT Bullets learned from their mistakes.
Well, this is it, guys, the final game. Let's see who takes it. It's game time. And here we are. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. The third and final game between KT Bullets and CJ Frost to decide who locks in that 4th place position overall in circuit points, but more importantly, that 2nd rank in the gauntlet that will be played this week, meaning that they only need to win 2 best-of-5s rather than 4 best-of-5s, or 3 best-of-5s rather, to get that final spot in Worlds from Korea. Hugely important game for both of these teams.
That's right, Ryu already creeping around the edge. A lot of armor penetration early right there, flat. And looks like some cooldown reduction as well. Well, we're not seeing that over on Gank by Mom, so a bit of a difference right here. 1% crit chance, though, it would appear.
Always a 1% crit chance.
I like to call that this slot machine rune setup. That
exactly.
1 in 100 chance you pretty much get a nice chunk in lane, and it can make a big difference.
Yeah,
if
a lot of players like it.
A lot of players do like it. So, coming into this game right here, we do see that more aggressive build coming out of Ryu. He prefers that Elixir of Fortitude, although he did manage to lose lane to Faker Zed, and Faker ran that door and shield. Yeah,
that is true, and you have to think that Gank by Mom was watching that game too and said, all right, well, if Ryu goes Zed, I'm just going to try to copy Faker. I'm just going to try to do what he did. Ryu couldn't quite outplay him. We saw that amazing duel between them in the final game, Zed versus Zed, one of the most amazing League of Legends plays I've ever seen in my life. And will Ryu be able to redeem himself from that loss today?
Gank by Mom is a strong Zed player as well. We've seen some great Zed mechanics from him, but KT Rolster Bullets, they did have some compositional problems, like I was saying. They went for that Caitlyn with the Bloodthirster and Static Shiv, which is great for shutting down turrets in lane, but SK Telecom picked a pack of assassins for the 3rd game in a row. Champions with strong skirmishing capabilities, and KT Bullets, they didn't get enough turrets early to really make that Caitlyn pick worthwhile.
I feel like that's a big difference between what we see now, where CJ is kind of the opposite of that team with a lot of talented skirmishing players. They're a team that relies on their strong team fighting. So KTB, even though they're going to be dealing with some of the same things they did against SK Telecom, the champions are going to be played so differently probably by CJ.
Yeah, the thing about, I don't want to go into this too much because there's a lot that can be said about the KT Bullets composition. We can talk a lot about what happened in the finals in terms of strategy. But the Evelynn pick was problematic for the KT Bullets in the final because it didn't really do a whole lot for them. And this time around, they have that Lee Sin, which is going to have that significantly strong gap closer to get in if they need to. Someday, as we can see in the mid lane here, as Space and Mad Life trying to get down that turret quite early, they have the range on the Caitlyn and the zoning potential of Thresh to really help them out. They've already taken Someday down pretty darn low right here, and we have switched the Zed versus Zed matchup into that bottom lane.
Oh, that death set that's nearly hitting for Mad Life. That would have been a good follow-up. He had a nice play and some poking from Space. And the top lane turret taking some damage on the CJ side. Shy trying to 1v2 that.
So we do see, I like Frost's composition with Caitlyn better than I liked the KT Bullets composition with Blind Pick in the finals. Because they have more pick potential with Nocturne and Thresh.
Oh, totally.
So they're not limited to a quick push here with Caitlyn. Even as I say that, they're taking massive chunks out of Cacao and Someday in that mid lane.
Space has got pretty good mechanics too in Mad Life. You always know he's never going to miss an opportunity to hit that play. One of the best out there at catching you right on the very edge of the range and just giving a couple auto attacks to Space. Pretty helpful stuff. Letting those headshots connect, and Cloud Templar coming in. He does get the Q to connect the score, but no follow-up.
And this is also great for Frost because Templar is doing what Templar does best, which is sit in lane and wait for 6 as they come in on to score.
They get the taunt, he cleanses, he flashes away, Ignite down the damage load, there it is! First blood for Cloud Templar, and Mafa not able to quite duel him down.
Yeah, actually Cloud Templar, he did cleanse the Ignite, so the red buff actually managed to finish him off right there from Templar. So very barely picking up that first blood, but this is not going well so far for the KT Bullets. You can see a big CS
Ryu.
advantage.
Ryu a little bit caught. There's the flame, Mad Life. Not able to get a ton of damage done with Gank by Mom. Elects not to use the Death Sentence there.
But he does manage to blow the flash from Ryu by having a little bit of roam. And we can already see this little advantage from the range of Caitlyn and the harassment coming down with this champion translating and rippling out across lanes, because Mad Life, after shoving back Someday right there, able to free up some time to go ahead and make a play in another lane, which blew Ryu's flash and gave Gank by Mom that little bit of an edge. Yeah.
And in Blind Pick, in these mirror matchups, the little edges are really what make the difference in the late game, because those tiny little edges makes it exponentially harder to catch up if you are in a mirror match situation like that. So KT Rolster B has to be really careful all game long to minimize those edges.
Well, not to mention that by 2B wanting the mid lane and having Someday there in mid, and having Someday get hit by a lot of this damage coming out of Space and Mad Life, they forced Cacao into mid lane. Now, that Elixir of Fortitude that we see on Ryu not doing a lot of work yet, because he can't combine it with Cacao's ganks for a lot of early damage, because Cacao has had to spend so much time defending this mid turret frantically. In the meantime, Templar and Shy make a play up in the top lane to get the first blood to push the turret back, even though Nocturne is not a strong jungler in terms of ganking potential pre-6. So Frost has really made a lot more out of their composition early on, and it's going to get even worse now that CT has that paranoia.
Oh, here we go, coming in right onto Score. Score trying to get away, gets feared, he's in trouble now. Not able to do anything, condemning Shy away, but another kill. A second kill for CJ Frost, that one going to Shy. Meanwhile, Someday just has to get out Mad Life in Space, pressuring in that mid lane. Score getting picked on quite a bit in that top lane, and there doesn't seem to be a lot that KTB can do about it.
And this is what the KT Bullets wished they could have done with Caitlyn in the game that they played against SK Telecom. This is the proper use of Caitlyn, and it does help, I think, that they have this Nocturne in the jungle, because it creates this immense pressure and allows you to create these picks and limit the options of your opponents.
We do notice, though, that he's not going for that bloodthirst first. He's got the pickaxe, and Cacao may be in a little bit of trouble here. There's the exhaust. We saw the play coming over the wall. Oh, he does get flashed. Flashes out of it. And there's the death mark coming down on Cacao. The death mark not finishing him off because of the stand united. Lives through it. That would have been a deadly sin otherwise. Dragon, though, still being taken by CJ Frost. They should be able to get this one.
But now Frost has Stand United up, and Someday had to use his ultimate in order to save Cacao. So slowly but surely the Bullets falling further and further behind.
Yeah, it's not looking too good initially here for KT Bullets. They may be able to get some sort of a good team fight or something like that. They have a chance, but it's looking rough. Things are looking grim already in this blind pick match.
Yeah, but this Caitlyn puts you up ahead early. It can put you up ahead early. Now, when it doesn't, the Vayne pick looks really good, like it did in SK Telecom's hands. But
and there's the first turret for CJ.
Simply very nice rotations this time, and use of map pressure by Frost in order to allow Madlife to go ahead and roam the map, make some other plays, and then a very smart 2v2 all-in to push the Vayne and the Fiddlesticks back early on in this game by Frost in the top lane. So they are really doing everything right so far.
Yeah, so far. Doing good. I love that Nocturne skin, by the way. It's my second favorite. I prefer the Eternium one. First,
but if you are a CJ Frost, you better believe you're playing the Frost.
Oh yeah, you don't have a choice. I mean, if you're Cloud Templar, you have to be playing that one. Yeah, it's mandatory. If you don't play that, you're gonna be like sleeping on the roof at the CJ house or something that night.
You have to run a dozen laps around the CJ apartment building.
Yep, then you have to cook dinner and do the dishes.
Well, Cloud Templar coming back up. He's got Paranoia up in just a few seconds.
That's right, he's gonna be ready to try another gank here. First one worked out pretty well, but Score and Muff a little bit farther back in lane right now. They shouldn't have to worry about it quite as much.
Well, this game, though, is Frost's to lose right now.
Oh, yeah.
They have that advantage. They got that critical mid-turret down. Moving Gank by Mom over there to control Someday just a little bit. Gank by Mom has that Bilgewater Cutlass and will be able to lay down some hurt even onto a Shen player.
Yeah, we'll see what he's going for next. He's got that one longsword. I wonder if it's going to be a brutalizer before he finishes off the blade, but we'll see. Oh, actually, Gank by Mom getting jumped on, but gets away with that Living Shadow. Ace in the hole. Oh, barely not enough to take out Ryu.
Ryu pops his Elixir of Fortitude right there to gain some extra HP and survive that Ace in the hole. But more turret damage going down in favor of Frost.
Yep. And Kakao coming down to defend, but will he be able to do it? Just hanging out by the turret. Solidarity, man. Just stand with him until the end. He's going to come on to Madlife, be a little bit annoying, try to scare them away, but I don't know if there's a whole lot that he can do. One more wave, and that turret should go down. Maybe even this wave. Ooh, like 2 more auto attacks probably would have done it, but they don't need to take any risks. They've, like you said, this is CJ's game to lose, so why push it?
Well, and they can just keep farming up right here. They know the lead that they have. They know the control that they have in this game so far. Someday, about to come up with the Stand United as well.
Oh, there's the fear onto Shy, but Cloud Templar coming at the same time, gets the fear. Oh, yeah, he does get the fear on him off at the last minute though. Cloud Templar getting a bit stuck. They need to back off now. Score with a little bit too much damage.
Yeah, definitely much more ready for the gank that time around.
Yeah, that was a really kind of serendipitously well-timed fear from Mafa onto Shy. It really prevented a lot of danger for that. There's a death mark going in down on Madlife. They really want this kill. Box popped in response. Kakao goes down, and Ryu has to flash away as well. Shy coming down to make sure everybody ends up okay. And a good counter. You can't even really call it a counter gank, just good counter play by CJ Frost.
And Ryu just sitting there in a warded brush as well. Shy may be coming. Madlife looking for the hook.
Yeah, I mean, Ryu knew. He saw them coming up. He knew that he was spotted. Had to back off a bit. And Madlife, understandably, a little bit more happy this time around, I would say. It's hard to tell with Madlife. He's got like the same expression all the time, but if you look into his eyes, you can tell.
Well, he should be happy here with a 5K gold difference at 12 minutes into this game.
And he also got a kill. He KS'd it like a boss. So I can't think of any reason he'd be sad at this point.
Man, this must really hurt for the Bullets too, because the
deja vu.
Yeah, deja vu, and not only that, but that Caitlyn pick, they just didn't get enough of an edge in the early game on those turrets when they played against SK Telecom, and to have this Caitlyn pick actually working right now must be quite vexing for them, though.
Well, I mean, again, you know, in the lobby chat, Kakao was like, why blind pick, why, it's so tiring. You know, he was still, you could tell there was still feeling the pain from that final game of the Champion Summer Finals, and, you know, it's been less than a week now, so you're still going to have a lot of those fresh memories, and just having to play a blind pick game opens up all sorts of old wounds for these guys, and it's tough. Their mental state going into this one, I guarantee, was not as good as it usually would be.
Yeah.
And they've said themselves, too, that they are a team that suffers from getting down on themselves, that suffers from those nerves from time to time.
Well, the KT Bullets nearly made a comeback in the last game, and
yeah, they
as great of a champion as Caitlyn is, in that ultra late game scenario, Vayne will be able to just output substantially more damage.
Yep.
Someday gets a little bit caught here in the mid lane, though.
1v4 here. He needs to get away. Can he do it? There's a flash hook. Gets flashed as well, though. Barely out of range. Oh, man. That is what's so terrifying about Mad Life, because you saw how exactly on point that hook was, but Someday just barely getting the flash off.
Well,
oof.
Fortunately, if you're a KT Bullets fan, they should have some pretty nice vision control right now. They just all backed, got a bunch of wards. They have that double sight stone because they have Lee Sin. So they're trying to maintain control over this dragon. They don't want to lose a second one here as it's about to come up. And so I'm not sure if Frost is really going to commit to this. Shy still has that stand united down as he's split pushing the top lane. Someday has his up.
Yeah.
So this is the time for KT Bullets to start getting back.
We're going to try to,
in terms of objectives.
They're going to try to do Dragon here. Looks like they've got a lot of damage coming down onto it, but CJ is right there. 4 members against the 3 of that, but here comes a Crow Storm over the wall right into the middle of the team. They do get Dragon, and CJ needs to back off. Mad Life in the middle of everything. Cloud Templar jumping down onto Ryu in the back line. Box popped as well, and Score gets taken down. They're going to try to chase CJ away. They did get the Dragon. Space has the Q on him from Lee Sin. Gank by Mom chasing Someday away. Ace in the hole going down, but Mafa a little bit too far away for Gank by Mom to take advantage of. Never mind, they're going to flash taunt in, and there's the kill onto Cacao. Mafa still on the run. Someday able to zone quite well, so that'll be the end of it. A little bit of dueling at the end, but.
So they do get the Dragon, but they trade.
Yeah.
1 for 2, and again, Frost with the great rotations right here, taking advantage of their dominance here in the early game.
Huge damage onto Someday. There, the death mark pops, and that's a kill for GBM. Oh, looking smug after that one.
Well, they maintain the same gold differential based on those 3 kills.
Right.
So they should be feeling pretty confident here.
Yeah. And even with that that cloak on Someday, even with the Sunfire Cape, still able to do all the damage through that. So Someday needs to be a little bit careful.
Well, Someday's much better set up for split pushing right now because he'll be able to clear the minion waves faster. But Shy with that Spirit Visage, you know, he does have that dueling potential against the other Shen. So there's a little bit of a back and forth in terms of that dueling potential right now. He's going to be able to absorb that Sunfire damage and take a lot less damage from the enemy Shen's abilities. So.
Yep, and Someday coming up right now. It's going to be 1v3. He needs to be very careful. Mad Life is there for the hook. Where is it? It's so close. Waiting for that opportunity through the minions. Waiting for Someday to push a little bit farther up. The turret is still there. Oh, man.
They know where Zed is. They don't know where these 3 members are.
Someday's got to be a little bit nervous about pushing up here. He sees it. Space has that red buff. There's the hook. They come in onto Someday. Everything. The fear tether as well. Space poking away with that red buff. Someday trying to taunt, but the exhaust is down. Someday, well, today is the death for him. Not going to be Someday. Get it? Because it's today.
You really have to admire Mad Life's patience in that situation, waiting
kidding.
for the absolute perfect hook.
Yep.
And Someday actually playing that quite cautiously, normally using those minions as a bit of a shield. Score actually ults in. They're trying to make a play here.
Yeah, Ryu
Cacao
coming down. Shy in a little bit of trouble here. Gets slowed, gets held up, and he's not going to make it up. The turret does go down, but they do get Shy.
And they will be able to turn this turret around probably and pick up a kill of their own. But yeah, with Someday going down that top lane.
Ooh, and a 17-minute Baron for a CJ Frost, taking a page out of the KT book. I think they know. I think KT is aware, though, that this is going on.
This could actually be disastrous for Frost. They have to be very careful right here. They instantly back off. The ping's going down. They know that Frost is there, however.
They're in a ward.
Well, Shy's not up yet. Shy does have Stand United, though, so he could be there at any second. Gank by Mom
very low.
Dies.
Ooh. Yeah, Baron almost had his revenge there.
Well, actually, KT Bullets may have been able to take a reverse Baron. They didn't have good enough vision. in order to do it safely, but with how low Gank by Mom was. However, they didn't really know that because I don't think they ever had vision on him coming out with barely any HP.
Right, right.
Frost maybe overplaying their hand just a little bit here.
We'll see. They've got a comfortable lead at the moment, but the game definitely not over yet.
Regardless, you can have a comfortable lead, but 17-minute Barons are still risky.
It's not easy in any stretch of the imagination. And let's take a look at that replay of this gank, this very patient gank from CJ.
Just mad life with Thresh.
Perfect
This is
grade.
why we saw those bans coming, and this is why you must ban this champion. They tried to chain it into a trap. Yeah, he missed the trap right there as well. Space couldn't get the perfect Halo trap down under his feet, but regardless, they picked up the kill and the tower off of it.
Yeah. Interesting. Don't often see Mad Life miss a play. My faith is shaken, Monte Cristo.
No, you must always believe that Mad Life is God.
I don't know, man. He just missed a play. It's pretty rough. All right. Well, Dragon. A little while before that's up, but CJ going to be content to take a move up here.
Well, I'd have to say this is another grim-looking line pick for the KT Bullets. They started strong winning that blind pick game against Blaze in Champions Summer, but...
That they did. But this is CJ. CJ is a team that just, for whatever reason, just excels at blind pick.
Yeah, Frost always so strong in this situation, and this game no different. But
well, except for the last blind pick against the Bullets. But
well, against MTO.
Against Ozone, right.
Yeah, and the Bullets too, they had that very decisive 3-0.
Yeah.
And they come in today, use their substitute, and they may have bought themselves another best of 5 and backed themselves really into a corner until they have to run that same road that they ran in Champions Summer. We talked about that earlier, but if the Bullets lose this game, they will have to repeat the same teams in the same order that they faced in Champions Summer. Blaze
Not easy.
to Frost to SK Telecom.
Not easy.
That's difficult for any team.
It seems nearly impossible when you think about it that they'd be able to recreate that great run they had.
But here comes
Crowstorm over the wall, but Gank by Mom running away. Oh, poor Mappa.
That was a party for the KT Bullets only,
I guess so, yeah.
No Frost members invited.
They weren't invited. No.
And right as the Dragon comes up too, so they could have used that Crowstorm for a Dragon contest instead.
Rough. That's pretty rough.
Especially since Someday did have that Stand United up, and they are falling further and further behind.
I think you can see the nerves starting to fray a little bit on the KT Rolster B side of things. They are not looking as confident as we've seen them in the past. And coming into it, you know, they weren't quite as confident. CJ has had tons of time to practice, and KTB just lost in the finals. So very different mental states for these two teams.
Well, everything went Frost's way in the early game.
Yeah.
They got that first turret in mid lane. They got plays and other lanes on the map. They got the 2v2 first blood kill up in top as Cloud Templar came up there and engaged on an overly aggressive score in Mafa.
You know, this is another example as well of KT Rolster B looking dominant at the beginning of the series and then losing all the games right as they were about to win. Lose the series in the end.
Yeah, it is.
It's a tough chain of events for them.
It is. It will be a little bit disheartening, but if any team is capable of getting that spot at Worlds, it's probably the KT Rolster Bullets. They had a great run in Champions Summer and
they can do it.
Are generally pretty consistent.
Yeah, and keep in mind today, nobody's out after this match here. This is only to decide the rankings for second and third in the gauntlet that will be started tomorrow.
And the KT Bullets may be right back here against Blaze tomorrow, so.
They could be, yeah. They could have to play again tomorrow night. Best of 5 against Blaze. Otherwise, we're going to see CJ Frost against Blaze tomorrow night. One of the two, we'll see. We have to wait for this game to finish.
Interesting build we're seeing on Cloud Templar here in this game. Kind of bizarre, actually.
Yeah, for a Nocturne, that is weird. Well, here comes CJ. Ooh, they do get Mappa a little bit. Big chunk of damage coming in. Paranoia. Cloud Templar over the wall, gets the fear onto Mappa. No Crowstorm there at all. Nice pick onto that support. And will they be able to get this turret for it? Someday trying to split push himself on the other side.
Well, this isn't going to work, Noah. Not with the Caitlyn, not with that range, not with the red buff, and not with the 5 men already in that mid lane.
Cow just hopping out to Shy for a moment saying, "Does this bug you?" And then he jumps off immediately. It would annoy you to have Lee Sin jump onto you and then just jump off you at the same time.
I would find it quite irritating myself, but now we see Shy going over into that bottom lane. They're trying to delay the recalls a little bit here to see if maybe they can get a turret for this. But Shy's going to be there quite quickly, but the turret barely going down. Someday taking that nearly from 100 to 0.
There needs to be like a Gangplank skin where Lee Sin just like sits on his shoulder. He's like a little parrot dude. And he says like cocky Lee Sin things.
I don't know what cocky Lee Sin things are.
I mean, it's taunt or whatever. I can't remember it for some reason.
Something about a smelly enemy.
Or like you are inferior, isn't that what he says?
That's Master Yi.
Master Yi. You know, I haven't played the English client for so long.
Exactly.
I've forgotten like everything the champions say in English at this point. I only know what they say in Korean. Or I only know how the Korean sounds anyway.
Well, as our observer is showing us, just a massive gold difference between the two 80 carries and the two mid laners right now. You can see that reflected. Last Whisper already completed for Gank by Mom. His assassination potential through the roof compared to Ryu. And the difference, too, with the Caitlyn is we're seeing that teamfight Infinity Edge Caitlyn, as opposed to the Bloodthirster Static Shiv Caitlyn that we saw Score build in that blind pick for the Champion Summer Final. So less push-oriented, less sustain-oriented, much more damage in those teamfight situations. And that's really helping out Frost as they engage 5v5 and dive deeper to knock the Shen ult combo, but the bullets!
And there's a Baron they're going for it, trying to sneak this Baron. They have the vision advantage. There we go, Lantern over the wall though. Mad Life spots it, but nobody seems to be around to really do anything about this. Templar thinking about coming in, comes in on bottom background. They do get the Baron. There's a box from Mad Life. Not able to really do a whole lot with it. KT, everybody trying to go after Shy here. A weird spread out fight. Shy chasing, trying to get back to his team again. Someday comes in, they get the kill on the Shy. And meanwhile, the fight continues. Gank by Mom Fear, and there's a Crow Storm into the middle of CJ, but they've got a lot of damage coming down. Kakao in trouble. A double kill for Space. They're going to chase down Ryu as well. He's got the Baron buff, but does he have the means to escape? Living Shadow away, slowing down Cloud Templar with that E. And he will live to fight another day.
But just, I mean, they got the Baron, but they traded another 3 kills for it. And CJ Frost's going to retain that map control. They can go back, load up on wards right now, regain that vision edge inside the jungle, and simply pressure with their range and wait it out here.
Right.
I mean, it looked like a decent engage from the KT Bullets, but they're just so far behind right now, and they overcommitted to chasing Shy as well. Everybody flashing over the wall, and that lost them Score all of his protection because he was the only one who couldn't follow over.
Yeah.
I feel that if they had let Shy go and stayed there and continued to peel for Score, that they may have been able to actually win that team fight. But the fact that Score really had to walk the long way around in order to deal with the fact that he got ditched by his team to chase a very low Shy out of there was just a fault in play calling from the KT Bullets.
Right. And man, look at Ryu. Pretty much, well, he almost has his last Whisper now, but in that last fight was a full item behind against Gank by Mom.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good at all. Ryu does have a slight level advantage, though. He did get his...
I did get that, you're right.
He did get his 3rd point into his ultimate just a little
not
bit
anymore,
faster.
actually.
But, well, yeah, it wasn't going to last long regardless.
And there's a Dragon for Frost. Hope you weren't too attached to that Dragon Monte Cristo because it's dead. I know.
I wasn't.
I know there was a lot of... Oh, really? The
No.
way you looked at it.
Nope.
I saw the love of dragons in your eyes.
No.
You're like, I want to put a saddle on that dragon.
I'm not a dragon
Fly
rider.
it out of Summoner's Rift.
I more just want to yell Kusroda. That's how I am.
Oh, I see.
That's how I feel about dragons.
You're more of a Dovahkiin
That's right.
than a Daenerys Targaryen. All right, well, never mind. They're coming in. Gank by Mom is the Shen ultimate coming down. Mata just immediately dies. Ryu in the middle of everything, trying to get away here. Someday getting chased at the same time.
It's really hard to go all in when you have 2 global ultimates compared to just 1, although they did blow both of them right there. So
They did.
But it's not going to matter because Sunday's going to have to be here to defend the lanes as opposed to split pushing himself. Ryu has to go back, and this is going to be a lost turret.
Yep. Indeed. Oh, wow. They catch Sunday with that death sentence. Goodbye. And Kakao making an appearance there for a moment. And he's going to go away. They did get the Dustbringer down onto score, but weren't able to chase quite enough. There goes the turret, and now the pressure onto that inhibitor turret from CJ Frost. They're trying to start to close this game out. It's the beginning of the end for KT Bullets.
Yeah, I really like the composition that we see from Frost this game.
Really solid.
I think that the KT Bullets were quite predictable here. The one thing that was a little bit up in the air was the Vayne pick. But by using the double globals instead of the single global, they're just able to react so much better to what the KT Bullets are doing.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the lane swaps in the early game that forced Kakao to stand in lane prevented Kakao from making plays onto Gank by Mom with Ryu, who had that elixir of fortitude first, and prevented them from doing any kind of 2v2 all-in.
Oh, Ace in the hole does not get blocked. That's a ton of health taken off of score. They need to back off.
Yeah, so basically, when you had Sunday, he got chunked so hard due to the range from Caitlyn and Thresh that Kakao couldn't 2v2 all in, and that was a major problem in that lane because at the same time we saw that top where Shy didn't get that same amount of damage and was able to pick up that first blood. So Frost has really played out their team composition much better than the KT Bullets, and they forced the KT Bullets to do things, to make plays, to make decisions that they didn't want to do, and that lost them the chance to make the aggressive gank plays in the early game while Frost got their way in terms of the fast push with the Caitlyn. So,
you know,
and then from there, the gold lead is just kind of rippled out from those early decisions. And Frost is doing a great job of taking it home, and Cloud Templar is having an awesome game.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he is 2-0-5 on Nocturne right now. That's a great score for an aggressive jungler like he's playing. And yeah, he's made a lot of good plays. You know, even though I certainly wouldn't call KT Rolster B a rookie team or a novice team or anything like that at this point, I do feel like we're seeing a little bit more veteran status come into impact for CJ, and we may see Shy, though, get picked.
Yeah,
we'll see. Go Storm over the wall. Here we go. The spear immediately onto Shy. Condemned against the wall. Does he have much of a chance to get away? Doesn't look like it. Score picks up a kill there. Nice pick.
Well, this is how you come back from behind against teams that have Shen.
Very true.
You create picks on this Shen himself because that eliminates the possibility of him turning the tables on you with his ultimate and stops the split pushing at the same time. And in these blind pick situations where we have a Shen v Shen, your Shen can still split push in this case. Your Shen can still ult in if you need him.
Yeah.
Just lets you be much more aggressive.
All right. Well, KTB trying to do their best to push this lane back up again. Trying to just take pressure off their side of the map.
Well, they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
But it's probably too far gone right now. Again, the Vayne pick can do weird things in the late game if the KT Bullets play this out absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, if you get good position with Vayne in the late game and CJ makes, you know, an error in terms of their positioning in a team fight, Vayne can just clean things up, but we'll see. The likelihood of that happening is fairly minimal at this point, I'd say.
Yeah, and we are on patch 3.10a tonight, guys,
right.
Of course, as you're seeing right now. So that's the reason.
Oh, Kakao gets a bit caught by the time. There's the lantern, throws it over, lets Space get in. They didn't get the kill, but what a cool play. Ace in the hole gets blocked by Ryu. Man, Madlife saw he hooked him. Immediately the lantern went down and Space was able to come in. I love seeing that stuff, and that's a big reason. Plays like that are why we always see Thresh banned against Madlife right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, so with 3.10, we are seeing a lot more phages in this game as players testing that new item. And that's why we saw the Trinity Force in the last game as well come up big time.
KT may be setting up for a bit of a Baron, thinking about fighting that, but we'll see. It's not going to be easy for them to do a Baron fight right now. I don't know if I'd recommend it. Hiding over the wall, though. There we go, Mata. Oh, he tried to flash Fear over the wall. It didn't work. Cloud Templar catching a little bit. Gets the Fear on the Mata. They're going to go in on this one. Ryu zoned out of the fight quite well. It's a Zed versus Zed fight in the middle of everything. Gank by Mom, very low. And Gank by Mom takes it just barely. In the meanwhile, we did have Kakao go down as well. Gank by Mom getting a little bit of vindication there. Oh, the ace in the hole finishing off Mata. They're going to chase down Score someday there to try to zone, try to get the taunts, but he can't save his AD carry. and Score goes down. It's a 0 for 4 right now.
Yeah.
And CJ just looking way too far ahead at this point.
And Gank by Mom, the reason why he won that duel, he did have this sword in the Divine, so just a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra HP too from that Doran shield. So that's where the item advantage comes in, even though Ryu managed to nearly take him out in spite of it. And now they couldn't push the lanes any further because of where the minion waves were. And so they'll take a Baron instead and then renew their pushing effort. They have much better siege than the KT Bullets due to their team composition and how their range on the AD carry, how fast they can dive. But check it out, Mafa tried to get the Flash Fear out there, but Gank by Mom ready for that one. Already had the setup. Cloud Templar gets the ult done, tries to get Mafa in the back lines. And there we go, Shy tying up Score, forcing that cleanse. Ryu coming in as he said straight. Ryu did have the vision advantage in the brush for just a little bit of a second right there, but barely can pull it out. Kakao gets onto Shy. That's not where he wants to be though. Eating a lot of auto attacks by Score in the process. Chasing him down the lane, but Someday here too tries to get the taunt off, but actually just seals his own doom here in the back lines.
And the double kill at the end for Space will seal the deal. That is about it. I mean, CJ Frost just, if they weren't far enough ahead before, I think they certainly are now. And Gank by Mom has had a great game, 7-0-2. Not a team player maybe, but he's got a lot of solo kills.
Well, that's what his team needed this game, was to
totally right.
Come up big and prevent the other lanes from affecting the Caitlyn siege.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. So he's fulfilled his role admirably here.
Yep, the Immortal Score not so immortal this game, 3-4-1. Bit of a rougher game for him. Bit of a rougher game for everybody, and I mean, when we see the camera shots of the players' faces, they have that look. They're like, oh, not again. They're like, not like this. Not like this.
Well, they...
Oh, actually, Gank by Mom has to lift Shadow, gets feared anyway, and they're going to go ahead and catch him. Shen Ultimate trying to come down. Here we go, Paranoia over the top of everything. Gank by Mom manages to do a little bit of damage before he gets out. Kakao very low, Shen coming in, Someday is there. Madlife and Space coming in from the outside. There's the party. Madlife pulls him in. The party ends quickly. Everybody goes home early on that one. And KT just trying to escape, trying to salvage what they can. Someday not able to make it out of there. Ace in the hole. Oh, gets blocked nicely, but it doesn't make a bit of difference, guys. He will go down, and Score has Cloud Templar on Nocturne all over them, and there's the ace. Only Gank by Mom going down.
And you can really see that new Phage doing work there on Cloud Templar. He's able to stick to his targets much more effectively with that new little burst of speed that you get with that item.
Yep. It's true, and there's a surrender. GG and CJ